We'll be fine about the crowd, I'm telling you, baby. Things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy. But when you place your hand between my collar and jaw, I don't know much, but there's no way at all. And I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. 'Cause if I say I miss you, I know that you won't. But I miss you in the morning when I
What is up, everybody? We are officially live, our first ever live podcast. We're down here at the Texas Tailgate down on MLK. Boys, it's a start of the SEC season finally. We have new goals in mind. We have the SEC championship after winning the Big 12 championship. We might as well take another one of those home. We've got guys that think we're going to be the new Vanderbilt of the SEC. We've got people that think that Texas will mow over every single opponent that we have also. So there's a lot to go over. There's a lot to talk about. I'm so pumped for this season. We have the new Big 12, or whether we have the new 12 team. Sorry, I didn't. Big 12 will never be a part of my vocabulary again. I apologize. We have the new 12 team playoff. How we boys feeling? We're finally here. Game day.
We're here, man. I had chills driving up here, man. I'm excited to be back. Like we said in the previous man, it was actually a short off season. I don't know if it's because we played more into the year than we're used to.
Normally used to, yes.
So, but it was fun, man. I'm excited. You can already feel the buzz down here. People drinking, eating, having fun already, man. I'm stoked.
It doesn't feel real. It's Christmas, man. Dude, I felt like the offseason burned by super fast. But the last 30, 40 days, all of a sudden was a slow grind. But driving down here this morning, like seeing tailgate setups and everything, it felt like Christmas morning.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And so we had a lot happen since we did one podcast already. And immediately after that, we lose Baxter. Yeah. So we've a lot has changed since we decided to do the one podcast before the season. But we got 11 o'clock games kicking off right now. What's the go-to games besides the obvious one? Because I'm taking that one, so don't take the obvious one of 11 o'clock, okay?
I won't take that one. Hopefully not. I look at that Penn State, West Virginia game in Morgantown. We know that's not an easy stadium to play in. That's going to be tough for Penn State to go in there, but you know, that's one game I'm looking at that's a fun matchup for Penn State to be on the road to start the season.
What was it? Penn State was 7.5, I think it was.
7.5, yeah, I think it's what it's at still.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, West Virginia,
yeah, I don't know, man.
It's a weird line to come out with playing West Virginia.
I think it's just strictly being in Morgantown.
True.
You know,
yeah,
it's just one of those being there. It's a tough stadium. They're going to be, you know, giving them a little bit of slack, but I still see Penn State coming out on top of that game. But I think it'd be fun to watch for sure.
Cool.
Dude, I don't know, man. Morgantown. When was the last time Penn State played Morgantown? That place is crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
But Penn State, they're used to a little bit of the opposite. They got the wideouts. I mean, they're used to playing in that environment for them. So I mean, they've been to Michigan, so they've been there a little bit. Ohio State, they understand that portion. There's no way Morgantown rivals that.
I think it's a sneaky
Yeah.
game. I still believe in Penn State, but I think it's going to be closer coming out of halftime than most people think.
It's also so this is a lot of the things that is happening right now. It's the first game of the season. So you've got games. So mine was Georgia, Clemson, obviously.
That's what I assumed.
And I took the 12.5 for Clemson.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't make that
Okay.
face. What? It's the first game of the season. This is the one that you got to gamble on. This is the one you
Yeah,
don't
sure.
know about.
Sure.
Right? And that's like the closest that now we'll see, because obviously Dabo does not believe in NIL and all of that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, yeah, that's
See
the
how
point.
that
I don't think
takes in.
Clemson has the skill depth that they used to have.
I understand, but at the same time, Cole, this one's for you. By the way, yeah, your dogs are going down today. You're going 0-1.
Down.
So, yes,
Whoa.
yes, going down. Market. Got a little ahead of
I would love
myself
it.
on the
I would
picks,
love
but
it.
About that
Don't
one,
care.
man.
I'm already giving pre-picks out. So we talk about Baxter. Baxter out for the season. We talked about that tandem, about kind of where that running back crew with Blue and everybody was at. But now we've got new running back in town also. We picked up or from SMU. We got what's his name? Belton Gardner.
Belton, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know too much about him. You know, I watched highlights on him, looked at stats. I mean, he seems like he's going to be a great depth guy for us. I mean, we still got 2 or 3 great guys in that running back room right now that could be starters at, any of these core 4 conferences as it is now.
It's core 4.
It's core
Just
4.
for everybody at home, it's core 4 now.
It's not Power 5
no more
anymore.
Power 5.
But no, I mean, it's still going to be Blue, is going to take over. Obviously is the running back 1. And then you got 2 or 3 guys, which I'm really excited to see today, that are going to get plenty of looks, and who's going to take over that running back 2 position, because it's wide open right now.
Yeah. Jarrett Gibson, he's a true freshman, so there's always a big question mark. But, dude, watching that guy at IMG coming out of high school, he's
he's
an
a
older
beast.
guy also. I forget what his age is, but he's like a year or 2 older than most true freshmen. I'm excited to see what he can do, and I've been hearing them praising him in his pass pro. So, that's the role I feel like we needed to fill after CJ Baxter went down, is who's going to be able to stand back there and help protect the quarterback. And
Sure.
I'm excited about it.
So I'm going to officially don you the recruiting analytic for Texas football, because you follow more than the rest of us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you kind of dive into what we have, our new signings that we've just gotten.
You put me on the spot now. New
I got you.
signees?
New signings. I mean, one was yesterday.
Jonah is the top dog right now. If you saw his first game highlights that just came out from Friday night, the kid was just electric. I
monster.
think he had 4 touchdowns and just was all over the field. He's incredible. We're 3 and 4 on the receivers in the country,
Yep.
which Sark just has more toys, and Arch Manning's going to look amazing next year.
So looking at Arch for next year, right? You've got Arch Manning. You've got Jamie French. You've got Jonah Williams, safety, who just came in. And we also have Khalil Lockett,
Yeah.
the number 1 wide receiver in the recruiting. Next year,
Number 2.
the stats that I have seen, I guess it all depends.
I want to
on-
call him number
It really
1, but
doesn't
I don't
matter,
want to
but
throw
at the same
shade at
time-
DeCorian Moore. That
No,
guy's
it's
a
fine.
freak.
No, screw him.
Okay, all right. Back that truck.
Yes. But Sark is really taking this role, in my opinion, and it's all about, you listen to all his interviews right now, it's about culture.
Yeah.
And that's what he's really diving into. And especially at Texas, when you show up to Texas for a visit and you got Lambos parked in the parking lot, you see all these deals getting signed.
That's the culture.
Yeah. That's what we want.
It's what I mean by that is it's tough to see all that as a player and also corral them. I feel like Sark's actually corralling them. Like, look, you've got to earn what you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's not just you're going to show up and get, hey, you're a good player. No, you're going to earn it on the field also.
Sure.
And that's the difference I feel like that Sark has, and he has a little bit of time on his hands now. I don't know. Did we talk about the fact that he's going through a divorce? Yeah, so it was a mutually.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunate.
I don't know that I definitely called that because I saw an interview, and in his interview, he said he stopped at Buc-ee's on the way home and he walked around Buc-ee's and didn't leave with anything, just walked around Buc-ee's.
Absurd.
and didn't leave with anything. And immediately in my head is something's wrong, because if I came home with nothing in my hands from Buc-ee's, I would be divorced. So obviously in my head it was correct, because now they're going through that. It was a mutual decision on their part, but now he's got a lot more free time. Obviously we knew he was very busy and he's taking this very seriously. Also, apparently the Aggies think he's going to be removed as coach.
He's on the hot seat according to the message board.
He's he's lost the locker room already. What else is that? I mean, the Tex Ag is just, Seth sends us, just so everyone knows. Seth
I don't dive into the message boards. I just follow people on Twitter that post the funny clips, and they were talking about that he's already on the hot seat and he's like done inappropriate things that, like, they have grounds to fire him. If they had the cause, they'll just go ahead and do it, which it's just Aggies.
Yeah, they're bored. I've done nothing but receive texts from other Texas fans showing the game day.
Want to relapse so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they're really trying hard. It's kind of one of the you're going to need to change that mind.
Is it not working?
Rotate it towards you. There it is. That's how. Look at. Here's the deal. This is the first ever live, so we're learning all this stuff.
Get there.
But
we'll get there.
I think the Aggies have just tried to find ways of really stirring it up, because we didn't even have to try when we got Schlossnagle. Also, let's talk about that for a second. I look at Twitter, and Schlossnagle is just tweeting about A&M and how they're raising money for this dog.
You got to move on from that, man. It's not a good look.
It's not a good look on this side. He's trying to save face with the Aggies, and look at that train is gone. I promise you, they will never forgive you. No. At this point, once you wear the orange, they'll never forgive you, unless you're early and then you wear the orange for a couple days and then go right back to what you were doing before, instead of being a head coach. All right, so covered a lot of ground. So we've got new signings. Sark is really developing. So as far as Sark's success, what record this year? What is Sark's on the hot seat next year? What does that look like? And that's a tough conversation, because hot seat. You know how Texas fans are. Is the reason I'm bringing it up. Like, Texas fans are immediately like, "Oh, we don't even make the SEC championship. We don't make the playoffs. Is playoffs the end all be all? Like, oh, hey, if he doesn't do it this year to make now we have 12 teams. That really should be now the new guideline for coaching. But it's the first year. We don't really know how everything's going to work with that. So what's your, hey, Sark's in the hot seat. He has actually lost the locker room. If this happens, is it playoffs? He doesn't make the playoffs?
No,
I mean,
not hot seat.
I don't think hot seat. I mean, I think if anybody's going to get on the hot seat from a potential loss this season, it'll be yours.
Yes.
He's going to be the first in line on things, because he's got Arch at his heels right now. So I think he would be the first one to kind of get some heat. But I mean, I really don't see it being that type of year where Sark that's going to be in question. I mean, I think even if it's a 9-win season and, we're in the teens somewhere in the polls and, we miss out but still go to a decent bowl, I still could see that, a 10-win season being considered passable, obviously. But I just don't see it being that type of season where we're bringing up controversy about Sark. I think if the controversy is going to arise, it's going to be on Ewers not performing well enough up to our standards.
Well, and after that Dr. Pepper commercial,
he doesn't need no backup.
yeah, of course. That was interesting. Devil's Wrath, what's up, buddy? How you doing, bud? We're finally we do have chat now. So if you got questions about the game, questions about players, stuff we don't know about, and you want to try and make us look like idiots, perfectly fine. Put it in the chat. We'll figure that out. So what is the one game this year that you're looking at that is like, like, what's your first game that you think will be a problem? Not necessarily a loss, but will be a difficult task.
I mean, I think everybody's kind of talked about the Kentucky game being a trap game. I'm still worried about the OU game after last year. I mean, it's always a roll of the dice on that game. I mean, except for 2 years ago. I'm confident that we're going to win, but it's just always like a hairy situation. I'm never going to feel comfortable going into that situation.
Right.
But Kentucky's the one outside of the norm that I would say that about. Kentucky's a trap game, and I think we'll be prepared, but it's gonna be a sketchy game.
I think for me, it's the Mississippi State game because it's going to be the first SEC game that we really play. Like it's
The what game?
for the Mississippi State. Listen,
Mississippi State. Okay.
listen.
That's not what I heard.
What did you
That's
think
not-
I said?
I heard Pacific State. I was
Yes,
like, what are we
yeah.
talking about?
No, I'm just making up colleges now. Mississippi State. It's one of those like Mississippi State is not going to be good this year.
No,
They're
they're
gonna
like
be-
bottom 3 in
They-
the SEC.
Bottom 3. However, it's going to be one of those. They're looking to send a statement from the SEC side. Texas is obviously going to be prepared for that, but it's one of those like I just look at it. I'm like, okay, like I could see the first half being kind of ugly, like it being close in the first half. That's the one that I'm really looking at. It's one of those that everyone's looking for Texas, the second leg in the SEC, to fail, so everyone else is going to be on that same bandwagon. But at the same time, Mississippi State is not going to be good this year. Vanderbilt may surpass them this year, which is kind of crazy to say, but that may be happening. Big Tex Overland OU sucks. That is correct. Not wrong. They dealt with Temple last night. Had my buddy Kyle tell me Arnold looks really good, and I looked at the stats, and he was 127 passing yards for 4 TDs. I think Temple he ended at like 160 yards, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Temple ended with 120 yards.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, that
Elite performance.
That is not going to be the thermometer that I'm using
Sure.
for how OU shows up. But at the same time, it is what it is.
Would you have expected that out of a Stan Drayton team? I thought they'd be more competitive than that.
Yeah, they got through 2 interceptions. I didn't get to watch the game.
Dude, that quarterback was terrible.
I didn't have time to do anything last night. I've been so freaking out about this day, getting this set up. I just didn't have time to do anything the last couple of days, but it's been really fun. All right, so we've got the game coming up. 2:30 kickoff.
Yep.
Colorado State. What are your boys' keys to the game for today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be one of those. We got to establish the run game early. Controlling both sides of the ball is going to be the biggest thing. I just don't want to get in, a shootout with these guys where we're slinging the ball around, scoring quick type thing. I want to see these strong, methodical drives. This is a Colorado offense that's returning a lot of guys from last year, especially in their passing game. So it's a team that's, been together for a little bit, and they had decent numbers last year, averaging over 300 yards through the air. So it's a team that's used to slinging it around. They didn't run the ball well last year, but I think ultimately that's going to be it to see, is our secondary improved from last year? Are we still going to get gashed? And that kind of be our Achilles heel defensively. So, I mean, I think that's my biggest takeaway is, establish the run game offensively, and then can we control the passing game, because Colorado State's going to come out slinging it because that's their offense. That's what they do. 2 guys that passed up $600,000 a piece, to
That was
transfer.
a wild video that I saw. We'd rather just we don't want the money. We're here. I'm like,
They're
what are
there
you
to
doing?
win championships. So,
Yes.
hey, man, don't give them any confidence today. Don't let them believe. We got to go out, control the trenches early. But I think my key takeaway is that secondary.
I just hear roars in the crowd back here. And
Yeah,
I hope that's Clemson. I hope that's Clemson that they're written for. What about you, Seth?
I mean, I'm really excited that we're playing Colorado State compared to some random directional school that I feel like this is actually a decent test. I think Texas is still going to perform really well, but they're more air raid style offense. I'm excited that our DBs are going to get tested and give us hopefully confidence. I mean, that's the biggest question mark going into the season is have our DBs improved? And today we get to actually check it out and see it. Better play in the secondary, I feel, is 100% key. I know everybody across the nation's had question marks about our defensive line the entire offseason. I'm not worried about our defensive line. Obviously, going up against somebody like Georgia, I wouldn't have that confidence. But regular season play, I think we'll hold up just fine on that front. So,
well, I think for the game overall, and I'm not going to take credit fully for this. I was watching on Texas, and their biggest thing that they were talking about is they have a very established offensive line that's played a lot of games. Sure. Their biggest thing is pressing, because Colorado State does a lot of dump passes. Like they're basically 0 to 10 yards is where we're going to see today is the majority of their stuff. They don't throw the long ball. Anything past 20 yards, they're just not successful at. So if they're going to try and throw a long ball, it's going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 yards. But they do have one wide receiver that they have, and he's very, very good.
Yeah.
What they're saying is he's top 3 wide receiver that we will see this
All
year.
season. Yeah, I pulled him up earlier. I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, his name is Torrey Horton.
Yeah.
And so what they were saying is what he's going to be doing is he normally lines up wide, but his average yards per catch really goes up when he's in the slots. And so they're going to move him a lot. But they were talking about how if they start pressing, that's what Texas did at the end of the year with Texas Tech. That's why Texas Tech didn't do anything. Oklahoma State did a little bit, but that's why we shut them down. Is we did a lot of pressing at the line with the wide receivers and just eliminated that game. So if we eliminate that short game and make them stay in the pocket a little longer, I think the defense is going to be able to show up. That's really it. Because on the offensive side for us, this is just going to be a show-off time. Like just get everybody reps, really feel kind of where we're at. But I don't have any worry about that.
Do you see any issue this season with you were spreading the wealth? Because we have a lot of guys that probably promised a decent amount. I mean, if you look at the crew we have and the transfers that came in, I mean, there's a lot of hands.
Well, if you look at it, it's really going to be who's on the field because as far as last year, you had AD, Worthy, you had Helm every so often, you had Jay Witt. Like you had all these different options. And Sanders, and he spread the ball very well. I don't think it's going to be a problem, and they all know that. Like that's going to be what's crazy is some of these guys I don't think are going to get the stats that they normally would at another team because the talent, especially for the wide receiver world, is so good right now. Like you've got Golden, you've got Bond, you've got Moore sitting in the wings, you've got Wingo. We'll see how much we actually see of him. It'll be interesting to see Helm versus Nyblock, like how they do that dynamic because Helm's been here for a while. We know the tweet that he put out when he found out that Nyblock was coming. So that's going to be the real interesting part is to see how we spread it across. Do we see Arch Manning in the fourth quarter? That's going to be – I can't stand it. People are just going to cheer when he comes out. It's like, here's the savior, the roar. Candle.
We're going to see him.
Was anybody else excited about Jonte being announced as a starter? Nobody else? Sorry if I just sidebarred it.
No.
We were talking about the wide receiver core, and I felt like he's gotten such little praise in this offseason. I was like, man, is he falling back on the depth chart? And then they made the announcement that he's going to be the starter. I'm a huge Jonte fan. I'm super excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a surprise compared to what we've heard the narrative all offseason.
Sure, yeah, I haven't heard too much from him, but I know what we saw in the spring game, seeing last year, the flashes of him. I mean, he didn't get the most looks last year just because, you have a lot of talent there at running or at wide receiver. Yeah. So, no, I'm stoked to see him, man. He was explosive in high school.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of guys that wanted him. So
his routes are ridiculous. Yeah. Coming out of high school, he already looked like a finished product.
It's still 0-0 Clemson. Oh, Tim Kittle.
What's up, Tim?
In the house. What up, buddy? You should be here right now. Walk down here. We're on MLK, Colorado, MLK, at the Texas Tailgates. Come hang out. We are going to be done here in just a little bit. We're going to head down to go see Midland at 12:30 down at the Fountain. We're going to be running around for the rest of the day. So if any of you guys see us hanging around that are downtown already, I know I've had a few guys message me say they're going to be downtown. Come hang out. So it's kind of the keys to the game. 0-0 Clemson, Georgia still with it's still 6.5 minutes left in the first quarter. But let's get to conference champion predictions. Okay. So this is going to be something we're going to put up at the end of the year and see where we actually were. So
wait, who won our competition last year?
I don't know. The final? We lost the stats. I don't know what happened. We lost all of them.
All right.
I know Jono actually made a weird comeback at the end. I do remember that. He was atrocious. And then we just felt bad for him, so we started making wild picks.
Totally.
So we'll start in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Who do we have for Big Ten champions. You homers.
I mean,
You want me to go first?
I was about to say we got the same picks.
Yes.
It's awkward.
I see
Did
that.
we all go the same?
No,
we
did not.
TJ's wrong.
Oh,
TJ's
I'm
wrong.
sorry. Wow, okay.
No, I wanted to pick somebody else, but I can't. Ohio State's roster is insane. I've bought into the hype of how deep they are in pretty much every position. The only question mark I have about Ohio State is quarterback. I think that they can dominate with their depth, and it'll be kind of fun to watch. I don't want to watch it all season, but it's going to be interesting to see if it truly is what everybody says it is.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the conference top to bottom. I think Ohio State's got the easiest schedule, and I think just all around talent on their team. I know Will Howard, was decent at K-State, so seeing him is going to be kind of interesting, a different style of play over there. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if you look at the conference, I don't see anybody else that's going to be able to take him down. So
That's incorrect. Let me stop you right there because that person that's going to take him down is going to be Oregon. Okay, number one.
It's the only question mark.
I hate Ohio State, so I'm not picking. It's not going to happen. So basically,
Quit
it's more of a biased pick at this point. But yeah, I think Oregon will, as far as conference championship goes, will end up taking it over. Ohio State is good. They don't really have a lot of competition. I think they lose. I think they'll lose it in the conference championship. Ohio State will, but that's where I really see it going because I need to be right because I hate Ohio State so much. We're going there next year to the shoe. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That was so loud. But yeah, that's my pick. So let's move on to
Side note, I would hate the Oregon hype if they were able to win the conference in their first year.
Well,
Yeah.
Nike said they have a blank check. So let's go to ACC. You boys want to do ACC real quick?
I'm so bored.
I know it is. I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to ride the pony train, SMU. I'm taking SMU to win the ACC.
Okay.
It's bold strategy.
I do think they're a little bit of a sleeper this year. They have developed a little bit. We did pull a running back from them, however. Look at the SEC. You got Clemson, obviously. Florida State, their starters
ACC.
after the first game. Huh?
I said SEC.
ACC. I'm probably blending it together at this point because I'm trying to go so fast. But Florida State, their starters have now set out for the rest of the season after their first loss to Notre Dame. They're not nearly as good as they thought they were. But yeah, I'm thinking SMU for the sleeper this year.
Yeah, I got to go with Clemson. I mean, you look at the conference, man. There's no teams that really excite me there. I think I just got to go with Clemson because I think they got the best depth, and if you look at their schedule, it's very favorable for them. So I'll stick with Clemson.
Both wrong, man. It's gonna be hard to do. Going with the
Who?
U.
The U.
After they lose to Florida,
The U. They're not losing.
oh,
Depth. Mario Cristobal has been recruiting his butt off, and they are loaded. I think they're gonna have a really good season and
See it.
surprise everybody. I love it.
okay.
Today will be a good test for them early.
So we'll go to the Big 12 now. I don't.
Yeah.
This is ugly. Like I don't know really. I mean, obviously Utah is going to be the favorite, kind of, but it's just like
It's pretty open right now. I mean, even the favorite's like a plus 300
Exactly.
right now. So
Colorado looked very shaky against
Yeah.
North Dakota State.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dion was doing at the end of that game. He had like
No
2.5 minutes left, and he had two different possessions, and still gave them the ball back in those
Yeah.
2.5 minutes.
yeah,
So I think this
Dude,
is
that
my
Hail
theory.
Mary was awesome.
Yeah, he had money on the game, I think, because the spread, I believe, was 9, and definitely had to have some guys be like, look, I need you to cover this spread, which is what it appeared the entire time. But I don't know what he was doing with that, but is what it is. Who you guys have for the Big 12 going in?
I'm going Arizona. Returning some of their guys offensively that looked really good last season. They were able to thump OU in that bowl game. Returning basically the same guys, newcomers. I don't know. Give me Arizona.
I mean, I'm taking the easy pick. I'm taking
Yeah,
Utah.
shocker.
Yeah.
With a 32-year-old
Yeah.
Cameron
dude.
Rising.
Cam Rising, I'm not going to bet against him.
The guy's almost
Utah's,
retired.
Utah's always tough. I can't go against him. If I want to actually be right with my pick, which I do want on this one, I'm not looking for a sleeper here. Utah's going to win the conference.
Okay, I'm taking Oklahoma State.
Um,
I feel like
Ollie Gordon got
Yeah,
exposed
I
in
feel
the
I
championship.
feel like he did get exposed.
He did.
However, that team is now gone into bigger and better things in the SEC. So they have enough teams to play to be able to do that. Ollie Gordon, I feel like, has learned his lesson from his dumb coach opening his big mouth.
Yeah, it's awkward.
So yeah, I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling. I'm taking Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship this year. It is open. That conference really is open to anything. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic of the style of play that the Big 12 goes to now with all these new teams coming in. So that's who I'm taking.
Wow,
So
no
that-
K-State picks.
No,
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about them losing, the quarterback. I know they got blanking on his name, but the young kid.
Yeah, is Austin something?
So I know he looked good in the few times we saw him, but I don't know, man. Just
Yeah, he's got dual threat.
yeah, just not enough there.
All right, so let's move on to games for today. I gave away one of my picks already. I Clemson plus 12.5. I didn't go as ballsy to say Georgia's actually going to lose that game, but I did plus 12.5. I'm taking LSU -4, and I'm taking Notre Dame to straight up win today.
Like it. I
Like
like it.
It is going to be one of those. Again, it's the first week of the season is always a weird betting betting line. So you just kind of throw stuff at a board
Sure.
and see what happens. So that's my hope. My hope is Texas A&M does not win a single game this year. not because I hate them, but just because they deserve it. But what about you boys? What you got for the games today?
I got Notre Dame as well over A&M. I see them going in there and knocking them off. Close early, but I see Notre Dame pulling away late. I got Penn State to cover. I know we kind of spoke about that game a little bit in West Virginia. I just don't think West Virginia has the depth to stick with Penn State throughout 4 quarters, so I see them covering that. And then I got Wyoming upsetting Arizona State. I don't even know if you really call that an upset. I mean, it's Arizona
I like
State,
that pick.
but I got Wyoming. I mean, we've seen Wyoming plenty over the years. We know what kind of team they are. They're gritty. They're hard-nosed teams, and Arizona State's coming off of a tough season and shifting in to the conference. So I don't know, man. I feel like it's gonna be a tough game for them, but I'm gonna go Wyoming.
Big text coming into the chat right now saying Clemson's D looking good.
Really?
2 possessions for Georgia, no points.
Interesting.
So-
Clemson's defense.
Interesting.
Like it.
I do really like your Wyoming pick. I didn't put it on mine just because I saw you had it. So congrats. So first pick, I'm going to take the Texas-Colorado game over on the points total.
What is it at?
59.5.
That's what I thought I saw 59.5.
Yeah. So I mean, sketchy, but I'm taking that
That's
one.
a lot of points.
It is. I think it's going to
I think we hit
it.
it the last 2 years for the first game, and then we hadn't went like 4 years before that without hitting the over.
Yeah.
So
Second pick, I'm taking Miami to cover the spread -2.5 over Florida. And third pick, UCLA versus Hawaii. UCLA doesn't cover -14.
Does not cover.
interesting.
I think Hawaii is a little bit better, and they're playing in Hawaii.
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
in Hawaii.
So you guys got any prop picks? Oh wait,
We didn't even go over the SEC
I know.
championship.
We're waiting for the end of that. That one we're gonna do right at the end because I want a dramatic effect. I did do some player props that I've got in here. Blue anytime touchdown today. 0.5. 1 anytime touchdown.
Over.
I have a Niblock reception touchdown today. Let's see which one.
You're calling that one?
Yes, both of those. I've already placed both of those.
Okay.
These are ones that I picked. I have Bond 67.5 over receiving yards. That one seems pretty simple in one throw to me. There was one more. Oh, it was I couldn't decide on this one. 1.5 field goals by Auburn.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't, and then his points is 9.5 kicking points. It's a lot of kicking points.
Yeah, that is a
So
lot.
I went under 9.5 kicking points. Yeah. So
That's pretty good.
I was going to bring some player props up, but then I started writing them down and realized I just hit the over on every Texas player.
yeah,
pretty much.
today I threw mud at a wall.
So I don't really have much to go off of there with player props. I looked at them and I started looking at making a bet, and I'm like, man, I just picked 5 overs for Texas.
I put $50 down across like 3 bets today, and I think if I win all of them, I win like $300,000. Not really,
It's happening.
not really, but it's one of those like Hail Mary type of things.
You got anything?
I don't. I
Yeah.
didn't look up any prop.
Y'all didn't
bets.
look
I'm
up
sorry.
any
I'm
prop
sorry.
bets.
I did, but I only looked up Texas.
All right, fine. Let's start with the SEC champion. Who do you guys think the SEC champion will be this year?
I can go ahead and get mine out of the way. It's not going to be favorable. I picked Georgia.
Okay.
Mine's interchangeable. I think
No, it's
Georgia.
not.
Boo
No,
this man.
You can't go
let me-
back
let
from
me-
it. Not
Boo this
interchangeable.
man.
I think Texas and Georgia are both going to win. Like Texas is going to win one, Georgia's going to win one. I don't know in what order in the regular season or in the championship game, but 1 for 1. So if Georgia beats us at home, I think we win the championship game. But for this sake, I'm picking.
Obviously, you don't, because you think we're going to win now at home, and you think we're going to lose.
Yeah.
This is live. I just want to make sure this is.
I'm trying to be honest.
I get it. I'm being honest too.
Okay.
You go ahead and be your homer pick too.
Give
go
me
ahead.
Texas.
Yep, okay,
Come on,
all right.
man. First year in the SEC.
Against who?
I like ours. That part is tough. I could see us going against Georgia again. I saw one site was posting that there's potential we could see Georgia 3 times this year. We could see them here in Austin.
Yep.
We could see them in the SEC championship, and we could see them sometime in the playoffs. So that's crazy to me. But I'll go. I know it's unanimous kind of across the board on a lot of these analysts, but I'll go Texas, Georgia.
I am going in the championship game. Will be Texas and Ole Miss.
Shout out Jaron.
I think Ole Miss will get over the hump this year. I think they actually do make the championship, and I think they actually beat us in the SEC championship. That's what I'm calling. Now we'll still win the championship.
You're going to give me that much crap and then do the same
Absolutely.
thing? All right.
Absolutely.
Then he says, "Give me Lane Kiffin."
Overall, like I'm starting to turn into a Kiffin fan. Like
Really?
although guy's kind of an idiot. Like, why would you talk trash about the Coke bottle on your stand when you know it's a sponsor?
I love him as a troll and an online
Yes.
social
Yes,
media
that's
guy.
what I like. I like that
As a
part.
coach,
No,
man.
as a coach, no,
But
no,
yeah,
I'm not.
he is hilarious to watch.
Yes, I do enjoy that.
Yeah, don't give Jaron hope here.
Yeah.
I was
I
gonna
really
say
like
something
Old
about
Miss
that.
this year. I really
Yeah,
like
no,
Old Miss. They finally have gotten it together, and I think they got real chance at making it to the championship.
Let's go ahead and go first CD of the season. Who's going to score the first CD of the season? I will go first. Ooh, it's tough between 2. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going Bond. It will be
That's
a
an
long
easy pick.
It will be a long pass. It
Yeah.
won't be a dunk. It will be a long pass for a touchdown. Isaiah Bond.
I'll go. Give me Gunnar Helm at the goal line.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Play action. Helm sneaks out of the backfield.
Okay.
We got Gunnar Helm with a 1-yard touchdown catch.
Okay.
I really wanted to take Bond, but since you took him, I'm going to take Jarrett Gibson up the gut for a short touchdown.
Okay. All right. Last thing.
No blue picks.
Yeah, that's.
I
That's surprising.
think well, it's because that's what Sark's MO is.
Yeah.
Sark is I want to be flashy at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, all gas and then brakes at the second half. That's typically what that is. So, last thing, let's talk about score predictions for the game. What do you guys got for score predictions?
I'm going to go first.
Yep.
Make sure I don't say it wrong. I got 48-13 Texas.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go 42-17 Texas.
Okay.
I think Colorado State gets a late touchdown to make it look a little bit better on their side.
I think Texas. They end up just Horton. They just manhandle and just cover him, and then let everybody else do the little short passes. I think it's going to be 42-10 Texas. They'll be lucky even to score a touchdown, in my opinion, today. But yeah, I think it's going to be 42-10. Headed into the season, heading to Ann Arbor. We go to Ann Arbor next week.
Game day.
Yeah, game day.
Game
Let's
day's
go.
headed there.
We'll be live streaming from Ann Arbor.
And
After TJ wins his 300,000.
Exactly. Yes, I win all the bets today. We're going to Ann Arbor. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. That's all we have today. I'm super excited, man. I've been
stoked,
so jacked for this season.
Me too, man. So it's a fun season. I was talking to my friend earlier. I'm like, man, we went through a lot of pain. We went through a lot of pain over the last 10 years.
Yep.
And it feels good to be a Longhorn, just because there's a lot of hope, and the future looks bright with these recruiting classes that Sark keeps building. So, man, I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah. The last decade's been rough.
Yeah.
I mean, John and I coming to games over the last 10 years, just with our heads hanging low, walking out of games. It's a lot more fun to be a fan after last season. So I'm excited. The SEC is going to be fun. I can't wait to travel and go to some of these places. And
Absolutely.
oh, it's going to be great.
It's going to be a blast. We got a long road ahead of us. I think we're going to try and do a live podcast possibly from the house next week. Everyone's going to come over. We're going to watch a Michigan game there. Then we got a couple. Have they been announced for the games for the next couple weeks of the night games?
We got, I believe it's Louisiana Monroe is a 6 p.m. kickoff,
Okay.
and we got UTSA a 7 p.m. kickoff.
Perfect.
So we got a couple of
Really?
night games coming up.
Yeah.
So
Surprise UTSA is a night game.
We will be
I like
back.
me too.
We will be back out here, pending weather and all that. Try and get out here and do live ones. We'll wrap everything up. I'm also trying to bring the equipment to the draft tomorrow. We have a fantasy football draft tomorrow, so we're probably going to recap tomorrow from the house also at our fantasy draft for our group. So we'll probably end up doing that. Just recap the game, take a look ahead probably for next week a little bit, and then go from there. I got to prepare for the draft. No, I don't care. I'm just going to draft. Last year we showed up and I just see quarterbacks go in the first round, and I was like, "What league did y'all just have me come in?" And I realized it is a very heavy quarterback league. So yeah, I already get the draft strategy. I'm going to be middle of the pack again, and then everyone's going to talk trash about my team, and I still make the playoffs, and there we go. So that's
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
how it's
sure.
gonna go. Yeah, that's how it goes every year. Okay.
I just piss excellence.
It's right. Well, in fantasy football, I mean, you just got to make the correct guesses,
Sure.
right? That's all fantasy football is. You just got to make the ones that aren't very. Although this year, a lot of my fantasy teams have Brooks, Worthy, Mitchell, Dicker the kicker. That's pretty much. Oh, and then I would pick up Whittington at the end of the draft also every so often. So
Yeah, I'm excited about him. He's getting a lot of buzz.
I got
with the Rams.
really
Yeah.
homer this year.
That's awesome.
I really went homer this year on the fantasy draft. So
Worthy's going to be a points machine.
that's right.
I believe it.
Worthy and I think Mitchell.
Dude, yes.
Reggie Wayne has talked a
Yeah.
lot about him coaching Mitchell, and
Yeah, they're super high on him there in Indy.
I'm excited. And then Whittington, they were talking the same about him now that they were about Nuka.
Yeah.
At the last year.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that all goes. A lot of talent in the NFL.
That's
a lot
fun to
of
see.
talent coming up to Texas, and we're about to see a lot of talent on the field. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video. We really appreciate you guys being here. We're just a bunch of idiots that like to talk football. We don't really know what we're doing. When I say idiot, it's basically me. Like I'm the idiot. But we appreciate you guys being here. We will see you guys next week. Let's get a dub. Hook 'em, boys.
Welcome.